So it's Thursday, July 30th, and I decided that I'm going to do a fast from social media for the month of August. And I just wanted to document my experience with it just so I could look back and kind of express what it's doing in my heart and my mind, and just how I feel like I'm being influenced, and the perspective that I have right now with the coronavirus going on and lots of political stuff right now. It seems like my thoughts and my attitude and my heart is just really affected daily by the things that I see and hear. And yeah, I just want to take it as an opportunity to be praying for our country, and just how God wants to use me. You know, what he's leading Brad and I to. We're in a really interesting season too right now of deciding whether we're going to stay in the Army and whether we want to get out. So that's just a big decision also. And I also just feel very creatively inspired right now, I guess. So that's kind of why I wanted to make a video documenting this whole time, just to kind of reflect, look at the chicken, or kind of reflect on how I'm feeling and my thoughts, and how God's working in my heart during it. And to be honest, I feel like even just doing a week or a few days of fasting from social media feels hard. So it makes me realize how much more I need to do this, because I spend so much time looking at stuff and other people, and I just wonder how it's affecting my the view of myself and how I view God, and you know, the time that I spend with Selah, and so yeah, so I will kind of, whoa, say hi. I'll kind of check back in when I get this started. So yesterday was day one of my social media fast, and I'm just sitting here this morning before everybody wakes up, and just kind of reflecting on how I felt yesterday, and you know, doing some reading in my Bible. But overall, I think I only caught myself one time like going to look for the app mindlessly, but I also think it wasn't really that difficult for me, just because it's a weekend and Brad's home right now. So I think I tend to like kind of mindlessly do the scrolling thing when I'm just sitting at home during the week with Selah, if I'm bored or something, you know, if I'm trying to entertain her or whatever. So yeah, so it'll be interesting to see just how I feel about it, you know, when it's during the week. I was reading yesterday, on the first day of this fast. I went back to First Chronicles, which is where I have been in the Old Testament, but actually have not read in the Old Testament for quite some time. So it was interesting that the Lord brought me to this passage. It was in First Chronicles 13, and it's where David orders for the Ark of the Covenant to be transferred. When they had almost made it to their destination, the oxen kind of stumble, and the ark is about to fall, and Uzzah, I think is how you pronounce it, Uzzah, like puts his hand out to go to like, I guess, catch the Ark of the Covenant from falling, and God basically strikes him down. And you know, my heart is quick to be like, that is just very harsh. Like it seems very petty, and like this person was trying to catch the ark from falling. Like, he didn't want something to happen to it. So it seemed like he was trying to protect the ark. And David responds the same way. And David was angry because the Lord had broken out against Uzzah. So David had felt the same way. But as I was like thinking and processing this passage, and I read a few places too about the meaning of this passage, but the ark represented God's presence to Israel. And the Israelites had, been disobedient and turned away from the Lord so many times. And it's actually, the Lord had been very gracious to them and merciful. So there's a clear way that God demands that the ark be treated, that nobody touch the ark. And in Uzzah doing this, he was treating the ark as basically just another object and not being a representative of God's presence. And this basically was showing that they weren't taking it seriously. They were disrespecting him, basically, is how I thought of it. And they weren't treating it as being a representative of God himself. So I thought this was just like a really interesting passage to read on the first day of doing this fast. And it was perfect because I was thinking, like, I need to restore God to the right position, like put him back in the place of honor that he's due, and glory, basically. Like, I'm praying that the Lord restore that sense of like awe and the fear of the Lord in my heart for and throughout this fast. So yeah, to me it was just like a really good passage to begin this time and to kind of carry throughout this fast. So yeah, I'm excited to continue on. It's really cool because I have a friend who decided to do this fast with me, not so much in social media. She's gonna do like no television during the week, and Brad also said that he wants to do no media as well. So yeah, it just offers some accountability, and I just really enjoy talking with her as well too. So talking some things out and how it's affecting us and feeling, and how the Lord's using it. So yeah, overall, first day complete, and we'll see how the rest of the week goes when I'm just with Selah. So yeah. Okay, Selah's napping at the moment, and I wanted to do a little bit of an update for this fast that I'm doing. And it's actually almost 2 weeks already, which it doesn't really feel that long. I have been trying to sit down to make a little bit of an update after the first week, and yeah, I didn't get to it. I think because I often just feel uncomfortable talking to a camera. So but I did want to do a little bit of a documentation of just how I'm feeling and my thoughts on the whole thing. And honestly, it's been a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I actually don't even like care. It just sounds weird to say, but I really don't have any desire to like look at my phone or like check social media. So that's been really awesome, and I have been trying to be intentional about taking the time that I would have spent doing that to pray or spend time in the Word. Right now, during Selah's nap, actually, I'm just sitting down to read my Bible a little bit. And one thing that Brad and I were talking about is just, you know, how much time we get back after we realize how much time we spend doing other things that just, you know, don't have any value. So we have kind of stopped doing any type of TV during the week, just as a discipline, as a normal discipline for us. That was, I don't know, probably a year or two ago we decided to do that, and you know, just watch like a movie or something on the weekend. But for this month we are just completely not doing any TV or movies, and that actually has been a lot harder for me, which I didn't think it was going to be as hard as social media. But I think like I get to the end of the week and I'm kind of just like spent with, you know, taking care of Selah, and Brad's tired from work, and yeah, we just want to like sit down and watch something. So we've been using our time differently, and reading together or doing little date nights at home that we do, what, you know, after we put Selah down to bed. So we were just thinking about all the time that we would have spent watching something. You know, a TV show is 40 minutes to an hour long, and if you watch multiple in a row, you know, that's about 2 or 3 hours, and just how much we waste, how much time we waste, and the things that we could be doing to fill that time. And we have a lot of big decisions kind of coming up in this next year for us, whether we're going to stay in the Army, whether, you know, Brad wants to continue in the Army, or whether we're going to get out. And we're kind of in the process of starting a business and getting that up and running. So, you know, if we are using our time to watch TV, that's time that we're not using to set ourselves up for the future. And, you know, it's not all about making money or, you know, even being successful, but just made us think a little bit more about it, and really kind of set some disciplines in place that hopefully will translate to after this fast is complete. So yeah, we're actually heading out of town here in a couple days to spend some time with family, so we're really looking forward to that and just kind of getting away. It's been a while since we've been able to do that, so I'm actually really looking forward to it, and just kind of getting a little rest. So check in later. So today is September 1st, which is hard to believe. It's already September, but it's officially the end of my social media fast, and had just got it back on my phone yesterday, and honestly I didn't really find myself missing it that much. I wrote a few things down that kind of has been going on in my mind just over this last month, and some of the things that it's come, you know, that this fast has helped me to realize. I wouldn't say that it necessarily had like a profound impact on my heart or anything like that, but there were certain things that I noticed about doing this fast that I think is just helpful to realize and to be intentional with. One of the main things is, I think I may have been talking about this in my last video that I did, but just how we spend our time. And I think that a lot of people use social media. You know, the majority of us use social media anymore, and as women we view it and often compare our lives and compare ourselves to people that we see. And I think I thought that this was going to be the response in my heart, but I found that I was using social media more as a way to decompress, like you might with television or movies, you know, just kind of tired and wanting to mindlessly scroll or look at things on social media. So that was one of the main things I was thinking about. And just being a mom, like, we have such limited time to begin with. So the free time that I do have, am I using it then to fill it with scrolling on social media? So that was I think the main conviction that I had coming out of this fast. For Brad and I, one of our family principles, I guess you'd call it, is that we have a deep conviction for stewardship and just being good stewards of the things that God has given us. So whether that's our money, the resources that he gives us, our home, and then has become more in the forefront right now is thinking about how I use my time. So just being a good steward of the time that he's given us, and he is the source of all that we have. Well, what are you doing? I came to the verse in Colossians 1:15-16. It says, "For by him all things were created in heaven and on earth. All things were created through him and for him." So, yeah, just being aware of what we're doing with our time and money and resources, like I said, and being a good steward of that. So I was just convicted in the time that I could be using for other things that I want to do. So whether that's like investing in a business or spending time with my kids or exercising, the things that we say we wish we could do, but are we using the time that we do have to do those things? I don't feel like social media is inherently evil. However, we are commanded in scripture to guard our hearts, and there's a proverb that says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. So just being aware of what we are allowing into our hearts. And there's a whole world around this in marketing. And like I said, it's not inherently evil. People have to make a living, and business can be a great stewardship. But we have to be aware of what we are allowing into our minds and our hearts, because it does affect us. I think it's worth it to just periodically stop and ask ourselves what we're allowing ourselves to be influenced by, and kind of give ourselves a heart check to see where we're at, what we're allowing in. So moving forward, I will continue to use social media. I had a lot of people asking me where the videos of Selah was. So people are really happy to see updates of Selah, and just kind of feel connected in that way, which I think is also great with social media. But like I said, I really love specifically Instagram, just for the ability to be creative on it. So people, I think we're tempted to compare our lives because we see these staged and picture perfect ideals, I guess, of women and other moms and their lives with their kids. Whatever you relate to, I think we see those things and we often compare it to our own lives, instead of remembering that this is a snapshot of something that somebody is creating. It's a creative outlet, so usually they are staged, or they have filters on it, and I think these can be really amazing tools. So I think for me, it's just going ahead and when I see these things, these images, just reminding myself and thinking like, wow, that person is very creative. Like, they created this picture, as opposed to like thinking, oh man, I wish I had that. Because in all reality, they are staging that picture most of the time. So for me, it's more just a mindful viewing as opposed to a mindless scrolling, if that makes sense. So like I said, nothing seriously profound or life-changing, or just like thinking like I'm never gonna do social media again, because that's just not the case. I think there's a lot of great things to use it for. So I just want to take the opportunity to check my heart sometimes and question how I'm being influenced and the things that I'm allowing into my mind and my heart, and prayerfully consider these things. So yeah, I would definitely do it again, and I would definitely encourage
other people to do it if they find their hearts sort of clinging or feeling a need to have constant input, or constantly getting away from our own lives and problems and thoughts and feelings, and using this as like a numbing agent, I guess, in a sense, because I think that's essentially what I was doing, and I feel like I can't be the only one that's feeling that way. So moving forward, hopefully can just enjoy spreading pictures of Selah, videos of her, and you know, whatever else the Lord calls me to use these tools for. But that's it. It's a beautiful day. It's actually not over 100 degrees here in El Paso. It's starting to cool off a bit, which it's funny because 90 something degrees feels cool, but I'm also sitting in the shade of my trees next to the chickens. So anyway, that's my update.